Warning, this show contains adult language, so viewer and listener discretion is advised. Welcome to another edition of Up and In It. I'm your host, Adrian Babashoff. And if you're new here, welcome as well. And if you're wondering what the show is about, it's entirely dedicated to improving quality of life for both people and planet through liberation and independence, moving you from surviving to thriving and living life raw. Today's episode 189, and this is how to stop being a consumer. We don't want to beat ourselves up. We want to come up with solutions. A lot of people are pointing the fingers, a lot of stuff that we're scared. I think that's the biggest message if you guys get out of this show today is don't be scared of feeling, not responsible, but like guilty and shitty about yourself. It's not your fault. We're going to talk about that today. It's the way we've been raised. It's the way our society functions. But there's a lot of things that we can do and small things that make huge differences. So you don't have to go be this... I just found this guy about a year ago, Rob Greenfield, and I guess people around my village, my little town, are they're equating me to him. They were like, "You guys, you should see this guy," and you guys have a lot in common. So he's doing a lot of great work. From what I've seen, I haven't researched too much, but I want to get more into my own opinions and stuff to help you guys out to stop being a consumer, or maybe we can say less of a consumer. So here we go. Without sounding like a game show host here. Sorry about that, man. Jeez, somebody put me in line here. I need a whistleblower. The first thing to stop being a consumer I have on my list here is to be aware of self and others. So awareness, I think, is the very first thing. I think a lot of us know by now, like global warming and all these kind of things. I like to say that a lot of people don't really ever go to glimpse the end of the drain pipe. So in our wonderful little cushy lives, we all get to flush our toilets, throw our garbage in the garbage can, wrap it up in plastic, things like that, and we never get to see where it goes and what happens to it. And there's a lot of things, and it's very sad and it's very ugly. But again, it doesn't have to be that way. But it's nice that we have awareness first. And I think when I say awareness of others, there's a game here. Once you start truly giving a shit about yourself, your environment and everything, it's kind of difficult to not get angry at others. And when you start making a difference, you start feeling really good, as with anything, I guess, in your life, you always want to share it with other people. Well, guess what? Not a whole lot of people want to hear about those type of things because they really don't give a fuck. But you have it in yourself, and it makes you feel really good. I want to tell you guys some things that I do. We teach on the show not to give a shit what anybody thinks about you. And I practice this on a daily basis. And one of the things I do in the summertime is I love the beach. I live in Sunnyside, San Diego, California. And I like going to the beach and I like going for runs. So what I do is I carry myself a reusable grocery bag. And you know what? I just threw away a cotton grocery bag that was all stained up with some orange and brown stuff. It literally looked like someone took a shit in it. I was like, look, I'm very frugal, but you don't want to be throwing this sack on the cash register, with your groceries in it. It didn't stink or anything. It looked really bad, but I was like, it'd be funny, but you got to draw a point with frugality. But I should have kept that thing so I could use it for what I'm going to tell you guys. I bought myself a pair of those gophers, and I got myself a good pair of gophers. Those are those little picker-upper thingies. I don't know what the fuck you'd call them. It's got like a little pistol grip thing. And you can pick up a quarter. There's different types. There's some that are really cheap, and some where you can literally pick a quarter. It's easier to use this than your fingers to pick up money off the ground, which here in the United States, there's money all over the ground. Not thousands of dollars, but where could you find a bunch of cig butts, melted gum, and a bunch of quarters and dimes? I've seen on the streets of LA, off the off-ramp, probably about at least 80 cents or to $1 of change just sitting there mixed with garbage. I find quarters and pennies on the ground all the time, and I pick them up, put them in my back pocket. To stay on point here, I go around the beach jogging, and I go right through where people are sitting in the summer times. We get lots of tourists here, and I pick up their trash right in front of them. I see them eat wrappers and stuff and just toss it. Their kids, they're not teaching their children. They just drop it. So instead of getting angry, what I do is I live by example, right? I make these people feel like fucking shit by picking up their trash in front of them and showing their kids what a real man or a real human being does. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not trying to make someone feel like shit. But I like that it peacefully brings the awkwardness of like, wow, what's this guy doing? What a weirdo picking up. But then I know that I planted that seed. When I leave, they're like, wow, that was actually probably kind of cool. Some people probably think, yeah, the guy's still a fucking idiot. You know, I get that all the time, by the way, despite my appearance. But yeah, I planted the seed, and it's a peaceful demonstration of, hey, look, guys, that stuff's going to go in the ocean, and we clean things up. So, yeah, doing stuff, I think, which we got for yourself, those are things that you can change. And that's the bank, that's the wealth that you have inside yourself, how much garbage that you've picked up, and how much stuff that you would save, how many turtles you'd save from those plastic fucking straws. I don't know what these turtles are doing, snorting cocaine or what under the ocean, but you turtles, you know, you guys need the memo. Stop using plastic straws, okay? I know my people, my species is throwing them in the ocean deliberately, maybe sometimes. But hey, you guys got to knock that off. You know, use a paper straw if you're going to do drugs, okay? Stay safe. So yeah, being aware of yourself is the very first thing of what you can do. Boy, I could talk a lot about this one. But let's move on, because I only have 15 minutes, guys, and I'm paying for this show, and I've got to, like, I want to do longer shows, but basically I got to wait till I can actually monetize this thing. But it's not your fault. Our systems have designed as children, as I said about this family, a lot of us aren't aware. My story goes back way before I even had kids. My kids just intensified my love for nature and my respect for Mother Earth. I don't know, hey, call it for Earth, basically. Let's just get rid of that. For Earth and taking care of it. And what I've noticed, though, is throughout my lifetime as the Xbox, the mother of my children, when I met her, she would throw her cigarettes out the window. Like, you know, cool, like, look at me, I'm a movie star, you know, look at me, I'm so dumb, you know, polluting the fucking earth. They find fish like trout in streams, guys, that swallow cig butts, all right? They get like 3-4 cig butts in their tummies. It has a smell to it. It's peculiar. You can actually fish with bubble gums, I've heard from people, too. Now, there's never successfully done it, but, yeah, I met her, and she was like, I never really thought about it. I just didn't know. You know, and I was like, that's a deal breaker, dude. You know, if we're going to be together, you got to stop that fucking bullshit. You got to stop it now. Like, get out of my car, you know. I'll slow down to 5 miles per hour. And if you're not out, I'm gonna accelerate to 10 before I kick you out. No, I'm just kidding. We don't endorse violence here. But yeah, she was like, yeah, you taught me so much of like with plastic waste and things like that. Regardless what people do with it in the future is anybody's guess, you know. So it's not really my problem. But it's our job, I feel like, for me to be that example, and just to not beat yourself up too if you are starting out to not be a consumer and you're into this zero waste and minimalism and essentialism, which is what I'm after. I keep rambling here, but we were designed in the system. I always say we never got out of here. We never got here overnight. We sure as hell ain't getting out of here overnight. So there's a lot of things that we need to learn, a lot of things we need to incorporate, a lot of things we need to think about. And I think the first one is the guilt-free. As I said, I want you guys to get in this and do little things for yourself and know that they're huge differences. I mean, if you just went one day out of the year, you think about how many people, if you just went one day with these grabbers, these little gopher picker-upper thingies, and you picked up trash on the beach, if everybody rotated, there's 365 days of the year, right? So that wouldn't take a lot of people at all just for one region, one park, one mountain, one desert. But the amount of plastics, you guys got to realize, just you yourself, if you filled up just a grocery bag full of plastic, just you, one person, do you realize how many hundreds of years it takes for plastic to degrade? And that we're finding plastic at the bottom of like Marianas Trench. I think Marianas Trench, which is the deepest trench known to science, the deepest part of the ocean. They may have found something new, but who knows? But there's little particles that far down, guys. I wouldn't be surprised if there's plastic in fucking outer space. You know what I mean? At this point. But the difference that you'd make just by that one bag, dude, you should feel fucking wonderful about what you did. And it's that bank of your soul, your integrity, your mind, and everything, knowing that it becomes addictive. You're going to want to do more and more and more. And the problem, I think, with a lot of people is you don't actually physically get able to see. You don't get to shake hands with that fucking turtle, you know, that you pulled the straw out of its nose, or that it could have got stuck in that six-pack holder. You never saw the dolphin that was just born, came out, and just missed the fucking 6-pack beer little holder thing with the circles in it, but the one that you picked up, that was the one it missed. You were never there for that moment. But you got to know in your knower that what you've done on a positive, and carry that with you, and you'll have that for the rest of your life. A happy body, a happy mind is a healthy body, healthy spirit. And I think good things come to those of us, no matter what you believe, whether it's Judgment Day or whatever at the end of your life when you're playing the movie of your life. I, for one, look at all the things right now that I've done, and it makes you feel like a Superman. Okay, so yeah, it's not your fucking fault, dude. This is me getting all Goodwill Hunting on you guys over here. Listen, it's not your fault. It's not your fault, dude. It's not your fault. I know it's not my fault. Okay. Using it to your full advantage. This one's going to flip you guys the fuck out here. Here's the guy preaching. Yeah, let's not do. Guess what I do? I use paper plates, guys. I use the cheapest paper plates known to mankind. I also use paper bowls. And I also use Ziploc bags, 1 gallons, the freezers, and also the quart size. But that's about the fullest extent of my consumerism on the dirty piggy area I look at. I'm like, dude, you should make time to wash, get glass bowls. I use Pyrex, by the way. Pyrex glass dishes you can put in the microwave. They do have plastic lids, but you could reuse them. But in my life right now, what I want to get at is to utilize the system to its fullest extent, is that we didn't get here overnight, and we sure as hell ain't getting out of here overnight. So what I fear is that a lot of people will try to do this zero waste thing and not be a consumer and all this stuff, and that's awesome. And the ones that could do it, do it. But a lot of us who are busy motherfuckers like me, who are single dad, special needs kid, running your construction business, starting internet business, and all this crazy shit, you don't really have time. So what I look at, though, it's positive, is if you utilize the paper plates and the plastic bags and bowls and shit like that for now, so that's less dishes to clean, so that you can work more on your zero waste business or organizing something else here. Because when I look at, we have a scoreboard of some crazy shit that's happening in the fucking planet. Paper plates and paper bowls I'm not saying that they're great things, but there's some shit that's pretty fucking crazy that we're contributing to. And I would say that as the whole thing's take from Peter to pay Paul, if we're able to use paper plates but end up working on something a lot bigger like car emissions and whatever's out there. There's a lot of things I don't have time to go into them. But if we could focus on these bad ones, these big issues over here, like feeding people and how we get our water and things like that, well, the paper plates and plastic bags afford us to have that time. I see that as a positive, as something great. And especially for a clutch for people. If you get sick or something like that, or we have a catastrophe, I thought I got a hair in my throat over here. Drink some water. But if we had like a bad, like an earthquake or something like that, you don't have water. These are good things to have around. But besides that point, I think that we can utilize this system to a point where we start making money, where we don't have to pollute the earth and do all these sick things. So we can actually use these things now to get off them forever. So that's the shit I'm trying to spit out of my damn mouth here. So yeah, it affords me to work on all kinds of other things and get perspective. I always tell on the show, for me, the power of observation and perspectives. We're spinning so hard, it's hard to even finish a thought. It's hard to climb to a higher vantage point to see the macro of what's going on. Because, for instance, for things like me, that probably takes about an hour of my day using paper plates and bowls and these bags. Probably about an hour, maybe a half hour a day between cooking meals and stuff like that. One less thing I got to do. And I'm able to apply that time towards getting off for good. So I look at that, utilize the systems. Don't be stingy. Don't feel guilty about it. It's very difficult because I still feel guilty. I do not. I look at those paper plates. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Who is this guy? That's why you don't look at yourself in the mirror, do you bozo? You plastic bag bozo. Nobody likes to kick the shit out of me more than myself. Let's see if I can get over it. The background noise is my vehicle too, guys, by the way. It's my work commute. My loud 96 F350 diesel 7.3 liter. But realize sometimes that realize sometimes few things change but yourself. And what I mean by this is that you make a lot of change in the world and you start feeling really good. And I think that's another thing that could get you very angry, is the world's going to keep rolling. It's just going to keep going. The consumers are not going to fucking stop. And I think this is something that you got to get through your head to go, you know what? It's not my responsibility. Again, it's not my fault. Goodwill Hunting you. And you're doing the best that you can do, and you could be that example, and you should be it peacefully. I see a lot of people like that are believing in veganism and zero waste and things like this, and they're protesting, they're getting really angry, and people don't like the angry. What you need to do is do like I do, make people look stupid. No, no, just kidding. Go in there and pick up their trash for them. Do it for free. Do it when nobody's looking. Do it when people are looking, and feel that what it makes you feel inside, and remember that. And hopefully that you'll inspire others on a peaceful note, not trying to jam it down or going, yo, you looter, whatever. You try to, like my children, they all know. By the way, a tip, be careful with your children when there's like gross things like contraceptives and stuff like that, needles. I've been walking around and my daughter's picking up like balloons and stuff. I found a contraceptive, a rubber contraption by a stream, and my daughter almost picked it up. I was like, no, don't touch that. It's gross stuff, yeah. But my children know, like, we do not pollute. But yeah, that's the show, guys. It takes a lot of. The last thing I wanted to talk about, and I don't have time, is a Walt Disney movie called Wall-E, and it's about a robot AI. Basically, these robots have their own moods and emotions. They end up almost falling in love. It looks like they fell in love. Human beings left the planet because they polluted it. They become so fat and lethargic on a starship called the Axiom, which is kind of interesting. And they're out in space, and the Axiom is actually AI. It's got everything that they need for human beings to survive. And that's exactly at the end of the movie. I don't want to spoil it for you, but the machine, the computer does tell the captain and the guy there, look, we have everything you need to survive, so just sit down, shut up, and enjoy the ride. And he goes, I don't want to survive, I want to live. I think I've used this one in one of my shows before. Powerful fucking cartoon, man. Powerful. I mean, yeah, give it a shot. I mean, that, even as an adult, dude, if you smoke herb, dude, it'll make it probably even better for you. I don't know, I can't do that. Even these Disney cartoons trip me out. That's how much of a fucking wussy I am. But anyways, that's the show, guys. Listen, if it brings you value, you guys get inspired, I have to pay to do these shows, and I'm happy to do so, but I need to get some subscribers, man. I need to get some subscribers. I need to get some likes. I need to get some middle fingers, you suck, and you're great, whatever. If you guys want to message me, it's upandinitshow@gmail.com. But guys, I'm gonna try to do a show every single day, 7 days a week. See if we can build this on YouTube and all that kind of shit, and see if this thing will get anywhere, if it gets any traction. After this year, I may decide to just completely quit the show. And I understand that the subject matter that I do on this show is not quite the most popular, that people like to hear. Saving the planet, saving money, and bettering yourself, and all that kind of stuff. I think a lot of people like puppy dog farts and porno. Obviously 70% or 80% of the internet is taken over by porno. So you guys, I don't know, man. If you guys are out there, fucking holla. Give me fucking some sign, let me know that you're there. Let me know that you want the show to keep going. I'm guilty of it too. I noticed that I don't really subscribe a lot to stuff, but I need to start. We all need to be aware that a lot of us content creators, man, we're paying and we're taking a lot of time out of our day to make this shit. So look at me trying to guilt you. No, I'm not trying to guilt you. If the show's good, it's good. If it's not, if I suck, I'll fucking quit. 2021 will be the year, maybe the last year. But hope you guys enjoyed this show. So check it out. It's Up and In It on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and anywhere you can find the podcast. And as I always say, guys, go out there and have yourself a near-life experience. Don't lose your muchness. Carry on the fire. Human up, live it, love it, own it, and bone it, my friends.